Well, today it's Tuesday the 23rd of September 2014. The time is now just after 5:30 in the evening and the temperature is 16 degrees Celsius. So the temperature has dropped quite considerably. Weather-wise it's overcast and there have been the occasional showers today. Nothing dramatic. So the autumn really is setting in now. There have been some developments regarding the alley gates. Not a great development, just a little bit of a development, and we'll see how that goes. First thing yesterday morning, I noticed that notices had been attached to some of the alley gates. Not all of them, just some of them. On investigation, I discovered that it was a sheet of A4 printed paper laminated and attached to the gate with a single plastic tie. And I filmed it, and here it is. Oh, there we go. So much for organising a meeting. So much for sending notifications to households, giving them a decision slip so they can decide whether they want to retain the gates or have them removed, and that's the sum total of it. That's the sum total of any consultation on this. Now, it is claimed that the removal of the alley gates has absolutely nothing to do with how much it costs to maintain them. Now that's contrary to what I was informed before. However, the reason is that they're not being used appropriately. They're not being used for the purpose for which they were intended. That is to provide a facility for local residents to enjoy their back street. You know, like painting the walls, the back walls, having little picnics for the kids, social events in the back streets. Sounds terrific. Sounds absolutely wonderful. And yes, that did apply to a back street not far from here. And it looked as if that was going to be successful. Well, it was for a little while, a short while. But then the woman that was the main instigator of this has moved on elsewhere now, and the whole thing has fallen apart. They don't do that sort of thing anymore. Is their alley gate being removed? No. I wonder why not. I wonder why it's just this area here. Anyway, I will come on to that later. In the meantime, we have had a professional window cleaner operating in this area for a number of years, and he calls and does our windows. So when he called this morning, I immediately went out and I asked him, Paul, would you be prepared to make a comment? I'm making this film, are you prepared to make a comment? And he said, about the alley gates, and he said, yeah, sure. So I put it to him, as you will see. Well, good morning, Paul, and thanks for agreeing to this. Residents around here have been accused of leaving the gates open. According to the council, it's nothing at all to do with the cost of repairs. It's because the residents aren't using the gates properly. They're not using them for the purposes for which it was intended. Right? They say that they're leaving them open. Now, I've lived around here for a long time, and I know for a fact that that isn't true. Yes, sometimes they are left open. If somebody's gone out in their car, for example, and they haven't bothered to get out and shut the gates. But I have found it to be rare that the gates are left open. Now, you clean windows on the domestic premises in this area, so you will be familiar with the situation regarding the gates, won't you? Have you anything to say on that?
I very rarely find the gates open either. like you say, Norman, when people go around, come out of the back street, sometimes they'll leave them open. But what I found is, even when I'm window cleaning and working in a back street, somebody will come along and close it, and I'll be trapped in. So then I've got to go and get. So they are closed, and very rarely are they left open. Other than there's one area around Brown Street, and that's nearly permanently open, and they're the ones that I noticed.
Right, now, I don't know what you make of all this so far, but to me, I mean, let's look at what I've been told so far. First of all, it was £75,000 annual maintenance of the gates. Next, it was £72,000 for the maintenance of the gates. Next, oh, that wasn't this area, no, this is not West Central, this is Zone 3. Okay? Then when I found out what Zone 3 was, I found out from a county council clerk that the cost of Alley maintenance was in fact £10,606, and £5,000 of that was made up of one single incident where some maniac rammed the gates with their car. Now I'm told that the removal of the alley gates has nothing at all to do with the cost of maintenance. It's not money orientated at all. Oh no. It's because the local residents don't shut the gates, and also that the back streets protected by the gates are not being used for the correct purposes. In other words, each back street should be able to have performances and parties and picnics and all the rest of that. Do these people live in this town? The people of this town are just not like that. There was one isolated incident, as I have mentioned, and that's fallen by the way. It was for security. And then we've got a contradiction here. On the one hand, the police say, yes, there was a reduction in criminal activity. And on the other hand, they say, but the reduction in criminal activity was no more than in other areas of the town that have not got gates. I don't think they know what the hell they're talking about. They're all talking out of their backsides. And I don't like that. I just do not like facetious speech. I don't like it. I think it stinks. And I want to get to, excuse the phrase, the bottom of it. And I will.